Are you noticing that your eyes feel dry, scratchy, or tired more often these days? You're not alone. As we age, it's natural for eye moisture to decrease, leading to discomfort and even affecting our daily activities. But what if I told you that there are simple, natural ways to restore moisture and improve your eye health, starting with the food you eat? Dry eyes after 60 are a common issue, but the good news is it's not something you have to just live with. Imagine being able to reduce that uncomfortable dryness and restore that natural sparkle in your eyes without relying on drops or costly treatments. How? Through 6 amazing foods that can hydrate your eyes from the inside out. You might be surprised to learn that the right nutrients can make a big difference in improving your eye health. These foods are not only delicious, but packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that promote moisture retention and support overall eye function. What if a simple change in your diet could have a big impact? The effect on your comfort, health, and quality of life could be profound. But here's the catch. If you don't take action now, you might continue to struggle with those frustrating dry eyes. The good news is, it's never too late to start making small, effective changes that can improve your well-being and give your eyes the care they deserve. So are you ready to discover the 6 foods that could transform your eye health? Stay tuned and don't miss out on the chance to restore moisture and comfort to your eyes. Number 1, omega-3 fatty acids. Have you ever wondered why your eyes seem to get dry and irritated as you age, despite trying countless eye drops? It's frustrating, isn't it? The redness, the discomfort, the constant need for relief. It can feel like a never-ending battle. But what if the solution to your dry eyes was something as simple as changing your diet? I remember when I first noticed my eyes becoming more uncomfortable, especially after a long day of reading or spending time outdoors. At first I thought it was just a sign of aging, but then I learned something that changed everything for me. There was a simple, natural way to ease the discomfort, and it involved something I'd always enjoyed: healthy fats, omega-3 fatty acids. These essential fats are often praised for their heart health benefits. But did you know they also play a crucial role in the health of your eyes? Research shows that omega-3s are vital for maintaining the moisture and lubrication of your eyes. As we age, our body's ability to produce high-quality tears can decrease, leading to dry eyes. But omega-3s can help improve tear quality, reduce inflammation in the tear glands, and alleviate the discomfort that comes with dry eyes. Take, for example, a man in his late 60s who had been struggling with dry eyes for years. Despite using numerous eye drops and trying various remedies, he never found lasting relief. It wasn't until he made a simple change to his diet, adding more omega-3 rich foods like salmon, walnuts, and flax seeds, that he noticed a remarkable improvement. Within weeks, his dry eye symptoms significantly reduced. His vision became clearer, and for the first time in years, he didn't feel the constant irritation. Omega-3s help stabilize the tear film, preventing it from evaporating too quickly, which is a major cause of dry eyes. Now, I know that not everyone is a fan of fatty fish, and that's perfectly fine. There are plenty of alternatives, such as fish oil supplements, that provide the same benefits. Whether you decide to add more omega-3 rich foods to your diet or choose a supplement, increasing your intake can be a small yet powerful change for the health of your eyes. If dry eyes have been bothering you, consider adding more omega-3s to your routine. It's a simple change that could make a big difference in the comfort and clarity of your vision. So why wait? Start today by adding omega-3s to your meals. You'll be amazed at how one small change can have a lasting impact on your eye health, helping you see the world more clearly and with less discomfort. It's never too late to take charge of your health, and your eyes will thank you for it. Now that we've explored the powerful role of omega-3 fatty acids in improving eye moisture and comfort, let's take a look at another essential nutrient that can help support your eye health. Vitamin A. This vitamin plays a crucial role in maintaining the tear film, and it could be exactly what your eyes need to stay hydrated and healthy. Number 2, vitamin A. Have you ever noticed that your eyes seem drier, especially as you get older? It's not just the natural aging process at play. Research shows that nearly 50% of adults over 60 experience some form of dry eye symptoms. That's a startling statistic when you consider how important our vision is in everyday life. Dry eyes can make simple tasks like reading, using a computer, or even watching TV difficult and uncomfortable. If you're one of those who felt the sting of dry, irritated eyes, you're certainly not alone. I remember when my own eyes would burn after reading the newspaper for just a few minutes. I'd blink rapidly, trying to get some relief, but nothing seemed to help. It felt like the tears I used to rely on were just gone. As I searched for a solution, I discovered something that changed everything: vitamin A. Vitamin A is essential for eye health, and it plays a key role in maintaining the stability of the tear film on our eyes. This tear film, made up of 3 layers, helps keep the eyes lubricated and protected. If the mucus layer, which is supported by vitamin A, is lacking, the tear film becomes unstable. This leads to a faster evaporation rate, resulting in more severe dryness, especially as we age and our body's ability to produce high-quality tears diminishes. Take, for example, a woman in her 70s who had been struggling with dry, irritated eyes for months. She often found it uncomfortable to read, and even watching her favorite television shows became increasingly painful. After a consultation with her healthcare provider, she was advised to increase her intake of vitamin A-rich foods like carrots, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens. Within just a few weeks, the difference was remarkable. Her eyes became better lubricated, and she was able to read for longer periods without discomfort. She was finally able to enjoy the simple pleasures of life without the constant irritation of dry eyes. Vitamin A does more than just help with dryness. It's also crucial in preventing more severe eye conditions, such as night blindness and corneal damage. These conditions are both linked to vitamin A deficiency, making it an essential nutrient for long-term eye health. A balanced diet that includes enough vitamin A can go a long way in preventing these issues, which could otherwise lead to more serious eye complications as we age. So what can you do today to improve your eye health? Start by incorporating more vitamin A into your diet. You don't have to make drastic changes overnight, but adding just a few servings of foods like carrots, spinach, and bell peppers to your meals can be a simple, effective way to get started. It doesn't take much, but the difference it can make in your comfort and quality of life is significant. Take a moment now to think about what you could add to your next meal. It's an easy step that could bring lasting benefits. Your eyes will thank you for it. While omega-3s and vitamin A are both vital for your eyes, hydration is just as important. That's why in the next section, we'll dive into the importance of drinking enough water and consuming hydrating foods to ensure your tear glands are functioning at their best. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 inches below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support allows us to continue sharing valuable insights and inspiration with you. Let's keep moving forward together. Number 3, hydrating foods. Water is the driving force of all nature. Have you ever felt like your body was telling you something, but you just couldn't figure out what it was? It's like your skin, eyes, or even your energy levels seem to change without any obvious reason, and you're left wondering how to fix it. Well, sometimes the solution might be simpler than you think. I remember a time when I felt like I just couldn't keep up with my usual energy levels. Every time I woke up, I had a strange feeling in my eyes, like they were gritty and tired. I chalked it up to getting older. After all, doesn't that happen to all of us? But one day I sat down to reflect, and I realized something important. I wasn't drinking enough water. It hit me that my hydration was probably the root of a lot of the discomfort I had been feeling. By shifting how I approach my hydration and adding more water-rich foods to my diet, I noticed a dramatic improvement. It was a small change, but it made a huge difference. The dryness in my eyes disappeared, and I felt so much better. As we age, many of us lose touch with the early signs of thirst. It's not uncommon for our bodies to miss those signals, leaving us chronically dehydrated without even realizing it. This can lead to a variety of issues, including dry eyes, which many people simply attribute to aging. But the truth is, dry eyes are often a sign of dehydration, affecting the tear production necessary for keeping our eyes healthy. Scientific research supports this. According to a study by the American Academy of Ophthalmology, dehydration directly impacts the production of tears and the stability of the tear film. This instability can lead to chronic dry eyes, a common issue for older adults. And it's not just about drinking water. Hydrating foods, which are rich in both water and electrolytes, can also support your hydration levels, particularly your tear glands. Take Richard, for example. At 81, he had never been one to drink much water. Over time, this led to his chronic dry eyes. For years, he simply accepted it as a part of aging. But when Richard learned that hydration could help alleviate the dryness, he decided to add more water-rich foods to his meals, things like cucumbers, watermelon, and celery. Within weeks, Richard noticed a significant improvement in his symptoms. His dry eyes weren't bothering him as much, and he no longer woke up with that gritty feeling that had plagued him for years. Foods like oranges, strawberries, and bell peppers are also packed with water and vitamin C, which can reduce inflammation in the tear glands and prevent irritation. These foods work not just by providing hydration, but by nourishing your body in a way that supports tear production and overall eye health. Essentially, they create a better environment for your tear glands to function properly, reducing the risk of dry eyes and the discomfort that comes with them. If you're finding that your eyes are feeling drier than usual, or that you're waking up with that uncomfortable sensation, it might be time to look at your hydration habits. You don't have to make drastic changes right away. Start with something simple. Add a water-rich food to your diet every day and make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. Even small changes can have a big impact. Today, you can start with just one change. Add a few slices of cucumber to your salad or grab a juicy piece of watermelon as a snack. These small actions are easy to incorporate into your daily routine, and over time, you'll begin to feel the difference. Taking care of your body from the inside out doesn't have to be complicated. It just requires a little attention to what you put into it. Start now and let hydration bring the comfort your eyes and your body deserve. You might be thinking, what else can I do to protect my eyes? Well, in addition to hydration, another powerful ally in maintaining eye health is antioxidants. In the following section, we'll explore how antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin can reduce oxidative stress and protect your eyes from damage. Number 4, antioxidants. You may not realize it, but your eyes are constantly under stress, especially as you age. Daily exposure to things like screen time, pollution, and even the natural aging process can take a toll on your vision. But here's the good news. There's a way to fight back, and it starts with something simple you can include in your diet. I remember the moment I first understood how important it was to take care of my eyes. It wasn't something I thought much about before. I had always been more concerned with staying active and keeping fit, but one day, I started noticing a subtle dryness in my eyes, especially after spending time on the computer. It became a bit of a nuisance. I began looking for solutions, and that's when I learned about the powerful role that antioxidants play in eye health. It wasn't just about moisturizing drops or eye creams. It was about nourishing the eyes from the inside out. What I discovered made a huge difference. Our eyes, like the rest of our body, are vulnerable to oxidative stress, which is caused by free radicals. These unstable molecules are created naturally in the body and are also triggered by external factors like UV rays or pollution. Over time, oxidative stress can cause damage to the tissues of the eyes, weakening tear glands and reducing the quality of the tears we produce. That's when the discomfort starts. Dry eyes, irritation, and even blurry vision. But what I found was that the right nutrients could help protect the eyes and reduce the damage done by free radicals. Antioxidants, specifically lutein and zeaxanthin, are powerful allies in this fight. Lutein and zeaxanthin are naturally found in high amounts in foods like kale, spinach, eggs, and bell peppers. These antioxidants work wonders by filtering harmful blue light, reducing inflammation, and most importantly, protecting the tear glands. Studies show that individuals who get enough lutein and zeaxanthin in their diet tend to experience fewer symptoms of dry eye syndrome and better vision as they age. It's incredible how something as simple as what we eat can have such a profound effect on our well-being. Take, for example, a man named Charles, who began experiencing severe dry eye symptoms in his late 60s. He had always been active and enjoyed reading, but the constant discomfort from his dry eyes started affecting his quality of life. After consulting with an eye specialist, he learned about the benefits of antioxidants, particularly lutein and zeaxanthin, and decided to make some dietary changes. He started incorporating foods like spinach, eggs, and even pistachios into his meals. Over the next few months, he noticed a significant reduction in his dry eye symptoms, and his vision felt sharper too. Charles felt like he had regained control over his eye health, all from a simple change in his diet. Now, you might be wondering how you can start incorporating these antioxidants into your routine. It's easier than you think. Begin by adding more leafy greens, eggs, and colorful vegetables to your meals. A daily spinach salad or a few boiled eggs can do wonders for your eyes. And if you enjoy snacking, a handful of pistachios could be a delicious and nutritious addition. These small changes won't just improve the health of your eyes. They can also support your overall health and keep you feeling your best as you continue to age gracefully. Remember, your eyes are precious, and it's never too late to start taking better care of them. By nourishing your eyes with the right foods, you can protect them from oxidative stress and maintain sharp, clear vision for years to come. Start today, and your future self will thank you for the effort. As we continue our journey to better eye health, let's focus on another key nutrient that often goes overlooked: vitamin E. This powerful antioxidant can help protect your tear glands from oxidative stress, ensuring that your eyes remain comfortable and free from irritation. If you're still here and loving these ideas, drop a number 4 in the comments to let me know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're always updated. Your support allows us to continue sharing valuable insights and inspiration with you. Let's keep moving forward together. Number 5, vitamin E. Have you ever experienced that burning sensation in your eyes, especially as the day winds down? It's an uncomfortable feeling that many of us face as we age, but it doesn't have to be something we just accept. What if the solution to soothing your tired eyes was something as simple as adding a few healthy foods to your diet? I know from my own experience that as we age, our bodies begin to change in ways we never quite expected. For years, I had noticed that by the end of the day, my eyes would feel sore, dry, and irritated. I tried various remedies, but nothing seemed to provide lasting relief. Then I learned about the incredible power of vitamin E, and it completely shifted my perspective on eye health. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant that helps protect the tear glands from oxidative damage, which naturally increases as we age. As we grow older, our tear glands can weaken and become more prone to inflammation, reducing tear production and causing those annoying dry eye symptoms. That's where vitamin E steps in. By strengthening the cells in the tear glands, it helps ensure that the glands function properly, producing high-quality tears to keep the eyes moisturized and protected. Take Henry, for example. A 79-year-old man, Henry had been battling burning eyes every evening, and no matter what he tried, nothing seemed to help. He was frustrated and tired of the discomfort. That was until he made a small change. He began to eat more foods rich in vitamin E, like almonds, sunflower seeds, and hazelnuts. To his surprise, within a matter of weeks, the burning sensation in his eyes was significantly reduced, and he noticed his eyes felt less dry throughout the day. Vitamin E helped his tear glands function more effectively, and he found that he no longer needed to rely on artificial eye drops as often. Other great sources of vitamin E include avocados, spinach, and olive oil. By adding these to your meals, you can nourish your eyes and protect your tear glands from oxidative stress, which is key to maintaining overall eye health. Just a small shift in your diet can go a long way toward keeping your eyes comfortable and free from irritation. If you've been dealing with burning or dry eyes, try increasing your intake of vitamin E-rich foods. Start small and gradually add more of these foods to your daily meals. It's a simple, natural change that can have a profound impact on your eye health and your comfort. Your eyes will thank you for it, and you might just notice how much more vibrant and refreshed you feel each day. There's no time like the present to take action and support your vision for the years ahead. Finally, we can't forget about the connection between your gut health and your eyes. In the next section, we'll explore how probiotics and gut health play a significant role in maintaining eye hydration and comfort. Number 6, probiotics and gut health. Have you ever thought that your gut health could be linked to the dryness in your eyes? It's a surprising but increasingly recognized connection. In fact, research shows that inflammation in the gut can trigger systemic inflammation throughout the body, including in the tear glands. This means that an imbalance in the gut can directly affect your eye health, leading to increased dryness and discomfort. If you're one of the many who suffer from dry eyes, it might be time to consider how improving your gut health could help you find relief. I remember struggling with not just dry eyes, but also digestive discomfort as I got older. It seemed like every time I tried to focus on something, my eyes would burn and feel irritated. The frustration of not being able to enjoy a good book or a TV show without constant discomfort was exhausting. It wasn't until I began exploring the connection between gut health and dry eyes that I realized the solution might be simpler than I had thought. As I learned, the key to improving my situation was found in what I was eating. I was shocked to discover that probiotics and fiber-rich foods could not only help my digestion, but also improve the moisture in my eyes. This is because a healthy gut helps regulate inflammation throughout the body, which includes the tear glands. When the gut is inflamed, the body's immune response becomes unbalanced, leading to inflammation in areas like the eyes. But by focusing on gut health, you can help calm that inflammation, reducing dry eye symptoms. Take Judith, for example. She's an 80-year-old woman who had been dealing with both dry eyes and digestive issues for years. After learning about the link between the gut and eyes, she decided to try incorporating more probiotic-rich foods, such as yogurt, kimchi, and kefir, into her diet. Within a short time, she noticed not only an improvement in her digestion, but also in her eye comfort. Her eyes no longer felt as dry and irritated, and she could enjoy activities like reading and knitting without constant discomfort. This positive change highlighted the powerful connection between gut health and tear production. To further support gut health, Judith also added more fiber-rich foods like oats, beans, and leafy greens to her meals. These foods feed the beneficial bacteria in the gut, which play a crucial role in regulating inflammation throughout the body. By nourishing these bacteria, you're encouraging a healthy, balanced immune response that helps prevent the inflammation that causes dry eyes. So what can you do to improve both your gut health and eye hydration? Start by adding probiotic-rich foods into your diet, things like yogurt, kimchi, and kefir. You don't have to overdo it, just a little here and there can make a difference. Also, don't forget about the power of fiber. Foods like beans, leafy greens, and oats can help support your gut bacteria. By making these simple changes, you could see significant improvements in your overall health, including in the moisture and comfort of your eyes. It's a small step, but the benefits can last a lifetime. So why not give it a try today? As we've seen, taking simple steps like adding these 6 foods to your diet can have a profound impact on your eye health, especially after 60. By incorporating omega-3s, vitamin A, hydrating foods, antioxidants, vitamin E, and probiotics into your daily routine, you're not just fighting dry eyes, you're nourishing your body and enhancing your overall well-being. It's never too late to make positive changes, and by taking small actions now, you can feel more comfortable and vibrant in your golden years. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Join our community of wise elders who are sharing their stories and insights about aging gracefully. And of course, leave us a comment below telling us which tip you're going to try first. Number 1, number 3, or maybe all 6. We love hearing from you, and we're always here to support you on your journey. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Stay healthy, stay wise, and see you soon.